Oh my god. Okay, so Excel Twisted Orbit. Again, like Awakening Nova Maids reading this are like, okay, change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. Change to your character cannot change directions while moving during the skill. Change to your character displays a falling animation if stopped midair. Change the defensive effect to only iframe while moving. Reduce the removed invincible in PvE. Remove down smash. Added a stiffness. Cooldown from 5 to 3. No longer usable during cooldown. All right, I've already read through the first part of these changes, and I'll give my opinion. We're gonna read through each of them. I'm gonna give my opinion, check, give their opinion. I'm gonna keep a level head, and we're gonna get through it, and there's gonna be no problems. Everybody understand? Okay, the goal of this balance pass was to give a solid boost to these. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. I actually just said it. Okay, anyway. The goal of this balance pass was to give a solid boost to classes that are currently underperforming in PvE. Changing the way they're perceived and making these improvements noticeable. This was a different approach for us, aimed at addressing the shortcomings of our previous, more conservative patches. Since we made any adjustments to these stats, we had to be mindful of any side effects. So as we started the balance adjustment period, we made it clear that we'd step in for immediate changes if things got out of hand. With today's update, the season's balance adjustments are wrapping up, but that doesn't mean we're done with all balance patches. What does that actually mean, guys? What does that actually mean? What are they actually saying right there? Somebody else say it. I shouldn't have to say it. I should not have to say it. It shouldn't be me. It should be me.
Saving my wallet one patch notes at a time. Glad to see nothing changed since 2024. Here's my sub.
It means they're never gonna have another patch for the next 6 fucking months. That's what that means. We're committed to balance patches. Okay, like that's what this means. It means they're gonna make an adjustment on this patch. If they over adjust something, they will do one more patch to adjust it, and then that's it. They're done. They're never gonna touch it again. That's I know it because I've seen it before. Okay, there's no shot that they keep keeping up with this. Anything that is left as overpowered will be overpowered for at least the next year. That's what we're reading. So like when we get through these patch notes, guys, if your class is underpowered, you're and if your class is OP, you are cruising for the next year. Really, you're just trying not to be Awakening Dark Knight right now.
Just resubscribed for 6 months. Here's to another 6 months of waiting.
We're all just trying to avoid being DKs right now. I'll low-key, I actually think they nerfed the female classes to be worse than the male classes because they're hot. I'm not even joking. I'm not capping anymore. I think that the devs literally tax us for playing attractive characters. I think that if you play the female version of your class, the male version will always be better. And your reason for playing the female class must always be she's hot enough. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think they're like, well, Ninja is playing at a disadvantage because he doesn't have tits. Because if Kuno was stronger than Ninja, we wouldn't have any ninjas. You know what I'm saying? That's like Loki. That is my that's my like tinfoil about their class balance. That's my tinfoil. Okay, anyway, we'll keep an eye on class balance and won't hesitate to make further changes if needed. Okay, YJ. Moreover, as we mentioned in a recent dev update video, we're carefully planning long-term changes, not just for PvE, but for the entire PvP system as well. Okay. don't let them elude anything to you. All they're doing is removing resistances, which they said they were going to do like, I don't know, 5 months ago. Okay. And I want to be clear. PvP balance does not matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? 2 reasons. 2 reasons why PvP balance doesn't matter. I'm going to tilt a lot of people, but hear me out. Before you crash out, all you PvPers out there, it doesn't matter for 2 reasons. Number 1, there is an 80 PvP. That's right, kiddo. That's right, baby. You must first have good PvP systems, and then PvP class balance matters. Okay. Always. But number 2, and this is more importantly, there's this crazy thing that you can do with your crystal setup right now, where somebody like Choice, who is totally endgame gear, can take these wonderful crystals along the bottom of their screen like this, and they can just take 1, maybe 2 of these crystals out, and they can put in the damage reduction crystals instead and be infinitely tanky, like completely unkillable. Unbelievably unkillable. So classes that are already innately tanky but still do damage are the best classes in the game.
Wickedrazil just resubscribed for 8 months. How are classes like a walk which cannot operate without all the resistances built into your kit?
Mystic is unkillable but can't kill anything else when you do this, but she's still unkillable, right? But particularly Berserker and Striker, it is a completely tank meta right now. It is the most. I watched 3 VOD reviews of Node Wars in my 2 days off recently, like yesterday and the day before. All 3 of them were like uncapped PvP, and all 3 of them were just people complain like they just couldn't kill anybody. Couldn't kill them. It's all just monkeys jumping around, bro. It's straight up. It's all just like the Berserkers and the Strikers literally just 2-shotting everyone with 2 DR crystals on and basically full DP, and no one else can touch them, because in order to beat them, you basically have to be full glass cannon like this, which means that they will kill you even faster, and you cannot make a single mistake. And even if you do, you're gonna have to combo them twice. So I cannot emphasize enough how much PvP balance does not matter, because crystals are okay. No one cares. Unless you fix the crystals, it's not going to matter. It literally just is not going to matter at all. Unless you fix the problem with the crystals that they've created for themselves. Like, it's obvious. Also, the fact that PvP isn't fun right now. And again, there's always these dipshits that are like, oh my god, I'm having fun. Blue's such a drama queen. I'm having fun at no. Yeah, they never played before and are just happy that they get to hit other players. Like, these are people that like they go into a node war and they accidentally hit another player with their very first skill, and they're like, oh my god, I did PvP, oh my god. That's the only people having fun. Okay, so like everybody else that did PvP before the change, not having fun, because they remember what it was like before they changed anything. Like, shit, the old system was shit too, obviously, but the new system, they somehow made it worse, right? And then they gave us the old system back, but worse, because now it's only an hour. Every time they f up Node Wars, they just end up giving us the old system back, but we lose something. The first time they did it, we lost alliances, right? Alliances then became 150-man alliances, and they never changed alliances back because they're idiots. So we lost like 50% of our PvP guilds. Okay, well, it's still at least playable. We'll take the old one, right? We'll take the old one. Then they take it away from us again for this new one. And they're like, oh, fine, I guess we'll hand it back to you. So they hand us back the old one, but now it's only 1 hour.
Using your classes FTW.
I haven't even gotten to the class balance yet. This does not count as a crash out. I'm simply explaining why this doesn't matter. Until they fix the crystal issue and PvP systems, no one cares. No one gives a shit. The only people that will care about them removing resistances from the game are really AOS players. That's it. And to be clear, I guarantee you when they remove resistances from the game, they're going to completely destroy classes like Awakening Witch and Succession Corsair. I'm calling it right now. I am calling it right now. They are going to completely bungle those classes and how to balance them with no resistances. If I'm wrong, God, I hope I'm wrong. Straight up. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Now let's get into the actual balance. Now, I'm going to preface every single one of these classes. All right, this, I'm going to make this cinema. I'm going to preface every one of these classes with what I personally think about the class, and then we're going to read about it. Sorc mains have this crazy superpower to never be nerfed, no matter what. These people, straight up, cannot be nerfed. If they see nerfs on the global labs, they just turn on the evanescence, jack it up, threaten Perlibus with cutting themselves in Minecraft. Perlibus doesn't want to deal with people killing themselves in Minecraft lawsuits, so they have to immediately turn around. They end up buffing the class because these people hate themselves so much. And by the time the changes on the global labs make it to live servers, they end up getting buffed. Like straight up, Sorc is incapable of being nerfed, even when there are nerfs on the global labs. It's insane. And like, I'll be honest with you, I got mad respect for it, guys. If you're a Sorc, I got mad respect. You know what I mean? I wish Dark Knights were dedicated enough to harm themselves in Minecraft over what's going on in a video game. You know what I mean? Then we probably wouldn't have gotten nerfed in the same way. You guys are giga dedicated, and I respect it. So let's read about these inevitable Sorc buffs.
100.
Oh, that's all it is. Okay, so Sorc. Big PvE buff. Huge PvE buff on Sorc. And I want to be clear. I actually think that this is totally fine for Sorc. I think that because of all the recent changes to the other classes in the game, Sorc ended up being kind of an underwhelming class in PvE. And I do think that she deserves some little attention in terms of PvE overall. So this is good. Looks like Turnback / Soul Harvest, Wings of the Crow, Grim Reaper's Judgment, Black Spirit Turnback / and Black Spirit Grim Reaper's Turnback / are all getting buffed for PvE. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't actually know if it's getting buffed in PvP. I don't think so. But like, people have tried to explain to me how to do the math, and I do know how to do the math now. I just don't want to. So we're gonna move on. Because you need like an algebraic formula. Okay, so let's talk about these people in our community, okay? So Berserkers will always... Okay, normally Berserkers keep their mouth shut, but every once in a while they turn into like a whiny bitch, and they complain about how their class literally isn't the very best in the entire game at literally everything. Like, you guys know Berserker mains like this? I know Berserker mains like this. They literally already are the best class for large-scale PvP, for Guild League, and in AOS, they are always top of the leaderboards for AOS. They are always giga good. How many AOS seasons have we had where Berserker wasn't stupid, right? And in 1v1s, one of the best classes in the game. It has like a gajillion grabs, right? Like it's permanently like protected in succession, right? And in PvE, it's already performing at what I would believe to be kind of an average level in PvE to slightly above average to above average overall. I would say just average is kind of like, but here's the trade-off. You can get up and go get a cup of coffee and the pack will die on its own and you don't have to do anything. So like, then you can run to the next pack, again, press a button and then go get coffee again. You know, like literally it's like the most semi-AFK activity you've ever seen in your entire life. All of this to say, Berserker mains constantly complain like their class literally isn't, next to Awakening Striker right now, isn't the best in the game. And that's why Berserkers always try to point the finger at another class when they're the ones that have been overpowered for years. I can't remember a time when Succession Berserker was not overtuned in some way. I legitimately can't. I think back as long as Succession Berserker has been a thing in the metagame, and it has always been an S tier class at basically every single aspect of the game, no matter what. And usually it avoids getting these massive nerfs because there's always one class that is right over the top of it. So there's like Berserker, right? And then there's a class that's literally right over the top of it. You know what I mean? And then they just point the finger at that other class, like Awakening Drakania, and then that class gets nerfed, and then Berserker has to find another class to become the victim. So they promote other classes until they get nerfed, right? And again, this way, Berserker always stays in the shadows as literally one of the very best classes at every single aspect of the game. 1v1, 3v3, small scale guild league, large scale PvP, and PvE. So in PvE, what Berserkers will tell you is that Succession is like, oh my god, it's so bad in PvE. It's not, because it's giga low APM. So if you compare it to most of the other low APM classes in the game, with the exception of Succession Lawn, which also is stupid, but doesn't have grabs and isn't the best class in the game at everything else in PvP. Succession Berserker is actually a solid class in PvE. It's like average, you know what I mean? I would say it's like B, you know? And again, it's not an S tier PvE class, but again, you can do it AFK. So you can like press a button, kill a pack, walk away, you know, and come back, pack's dead, go to the next pack, press a button, walk away, right? You literally clean your house or apartment or wherever you're living or shed, you know what I mean? While you're grinding. It's awesome. It's literally insane. So it's a giga low APM class, which is at worst is average in PvE. And I would say that it's actually stronger than average at most grind zones. But like I would say that overall it's reasonably average in PvE. But it is the best class in the game at PvP. They just don't want you to know that. Aside from Awakening Striker, right? Awakening Striker is, yeah, understandable. But again, Berserkers, they'll never tell you. They'll never tell you about what I'm about to tell you right now. They will never tell you that when they open their crystal setup menu in PvP, they've got one or two DR crystals on, and they're completely unkillable. And they still do infinite damage to everyone else, so they can engage. They're infinitely tanky. They do a shitload of damage, and they have the best. They have the best engage 100% and 200% in the entire game, basically completely destroying the metagame for anything PvP related. In large scale, along with Shy. Again, I think that Shy is extremely Shy is obviously the worst class, but like, I mean, you look at the next class that has the most impact in large scale PvP, it's definitely the Berserker. It's not even a question. And again, they've been busted for years, so I fully expect them to get buffed here. But so what they're actually getting, and this is where it leads off, and I guarantee you that the Berserker mains are all going to be like, oh my god, it's going to kill the class. We're not going to be able to do anything. This overall is a buff. Okay, this is overall a buff for their class. There are some nerfs in here, but for the most part, this is a buff for their class. It's not even a question. It's not up for debate. Beastly Wind Slash and Prime Beastly Wind Slash had its cooldown change from 5 to 6 seconds. Okay, so they lost a second on Beastly Wind Slash, but the skill add-on tier changed from 1 to 2. Flow Windstorm, same treatment. Cooldown from 5 to 6 seconds. Skill tier add-on 1 to 2. You're like, okay, these are nerfs so far, right? Prime Fierce Strike, cooldown increase from 3.5 seconds to 6 seconds. Skill tier add-on change from 1 to 2. Change to deal reduced damage when skills during cooldown during beast form. Remove the counterattack effect that nobody understands what it does, and added a down attack for all hits. Okay, sure. Ultimate Frenzied Destroyer, cooldown increased from 5 to 6 seconds. Again, 1 second's really not that big of a difference. It's like whatever. Prime Tackling Rock, cooldown change from 4.5 to 6 seconds. Skill add-on tier change from 1 to 2. Okay, sure, right? Slight nerfs there. Change the skill as follows for Falling Rock. Change to apply Predatory Hunt's damage equally for all skill levels. Change to apply the larger attack area, even if you do not jump 3 or more times with Predatory Hunt. Okay, Quaking Fury. Change to apply the same amount of ire of Beast's damage. Prime Storming Beast. Change that you can only continue the skill up consecutively up to 4 times. Okay, so what you guys need to understand is like, okay, they got nerfed. What you guys don't understand is these people can still sit in full protection permanently. 100% of the time, no question, even with the cooldown nerfs, and they're still the tanky. This does not address the biggest problem, which is that they're insanely tanky, okay, and that they still do a tremendous amount of damage and the grabs and everything else that goes into the kit. So This didn't change anything that actually makes Berserker too strong. Okay, this is again a PvE change for skill add-on tiers. It's strange, but it doesn't really affect Berserker in PvP too much. Because again, their impact on large-scale PvP comes down to their ultimate, how tanky they are, how much disruption they can cause, and ultimately they're just still going to end up putting out as much damage as they did before because they're just super tanky. You can't kill them, right? So now let's talk about the buffs. Absolute Ire of the Beast, 4989 times 2 to 7533 times 2. Okay, sure, that looks fine. Yep. So I'm just gonna save you guys the trouble. Some of these are absolutely insane. Absolutely insanely buffed, but some of these are disguised. So for example, Prime Beastly Wind Slash, attack damage 5289 to 7000. You're like, oh, big damage, but actually it's times 2 to times 1, so it's losing one of its hits, right? But then the second hit does, the second attack does way more damage now. So overall, this ends up being a damage buff, but not as much as you probably think it is. So you have to be very careful when you look at these numbers. I think that overall, I've kind of looked at these again. I went over this a little bit last night. Absolute Ire of the Beast, Prime Frenzy Destroyer, Prime Beastly Wind Slash, Prime Fierce Strike, Prime Predatory Hunt, Prime Raging Thunder, Prime Tackling Rock, and Prime Storming Beast are all getting big PvE buffs. Okay, I would say that you're getting probably 15% damage across the board. Overall, you're just gonna kill stuff 15% faster, probably, at least. Like it's. And so now Berserker went from being maybe average in PvE to being, and being one of the lowest APM classes in the game, to being AA tier at least. And again, being the lowest APM class in the game. But oh, let's not forget that they're the best PvP class in the game, basically across the board, except for Striker. Do you think the damage buffs will surpass the cooldown nerfs? Absolutely. Mainly because your skill tier, your skill add-ons were also buffed, right? And then like look at like some of the substantial differences on these damage buffs. Yeah, absolutely. So big buffs for Succession Berserker. Keep in mind, most of what I've said about Berserker so far pertains to the Succession. Awakening Berserkers tend to be the Giga Chads that never say anything about their class at all. Succession Berserkers are like the whiny bitches, and Awakening are like the Giga Chad alpha males who don't complain whether they get buffed or nerfed. It doesn't really matter to them. They're just going to play their class, and they're going to be better than you. And to be clear, Awakening Berserker has, like, when played at the highest skill level possible, Awakening Berserker absolutely beats Succession at most things. But, like, you have to be a god and be sweating out of your mind, right? And that's what I like about Awakening Berserkers. There's a trade-off. So if you're fighting an Awakening Berserker, he's got gaps. You can fight him. You can get behind a frontal guard when he uses his cannons and stuff. Like there's things that you can do against an Awakening Berserker. Succession Berserker can basically just sit in full rotate protections forever and then just keep trying to grab you and run around like an ape. That's my frustration with Succession. Now we're going to talk about the actual men of the Berserker community, the Awakening Berserkers. Improved to combo into ground lifting for Acts of Destruction, Wailing Beast, and Frenzied Tyrant. Titan Blow has been reduced to 6 seconds from 7. Ancient Wave down to 13 from 15 seconds. Sweet. It combos into Flow Split Shot, by the way, immediately now. Flow Slugfest improved to combo smoothly into ground lifting from the last attack, and then you guys got some PvE damage buffs, but only on ground lifting, Titan Blow, Flow Split Shot, and Black Spirit Titan Blow. I think that the Awakening buffs are reasonable. I think that the Succession ones are like, bro, honestly, other classes, honestly, Suck Berserker does not need any more changes, bro. We do not need them being... Like, we don't need to buff the basically AFK grind classes in the game. Like, straight up. Like, Awakening Witch is like, witches are still on copium, that they're still a good PvE grinding class. The reality of the situation is that Awakening Witch is below average grinder, but the reason you play her is because she's completely safe, ridiculously easy to play, low APM, no problems. Okay, that's what makes Witch a good grinder. She is not particularly efficient at anything. It doesn't really matter, but she's super safe and she's really easy to play, which makes her a very desirable grinder, kind of like Guardian. But you'll notice that Guardian is in the same boat as Witch. She's actually, Guardian is an okay grinder. When you look at like the numbers for PvE, like Guardian is not going to beat a Ninja, right? It's not going to beat an Awegu most times. It's not going to beat most of the other really strong classes in PvE right now. But the trade-off for Guardian is that you get the step on me, please, mommy vibe. But also, it's really low APM. It's really chill, and you don't have to worry about anything. You big chillin'. You big chillin'. You know what I mean? So like those classes, there should be a trade-off. You're losing a little bit of efficiency, but you're trading in safety, tankiness, and or just safety and low APM, right? Personally, I think that Succession Lan is way too overtuned for this exact reason. I think that Suck Lan has always been A to S tier grinder in the game with no exceptions, and is like the lowest APM class in the game. I don't think that that ever should be a thing, in my opinion. Like it should never be a thing. She should be nerfed into where Awakening Witch is, basically. She should be nerfed down to where Awakening Witch is. That's just the way that it should go. And because she's really safe, she's really easy, she's low APM. And again, that's all totally fine, but there should be a trade-off in your trash per hour. If somebody wants to sweat their balls off on I don't know, a suck hash, they should outperform you grinding because they're they're working way harder than you. And they put themselves at way more risk. You know what I mean? Dark Knight's another perfect example. But I don't want to use that example because people say it's biased. All right. Now, my opinion of Tamer. This is a victim class. Okay, it's a victim class. They are so good at 1v1s that they have sucked at basically every other aspect of the game for years. But Tamer's worst fault is the fact that she's underage. And the fact that nobody wants to play her as a direct result of that fact right there. Okay, so like, she's really hard to play, and she's a 16-year-old. So even if you find Tamer really cool and having a pet really cool, you still have to deal with this stigma from the community that everybody that plays Tamer is on some FBI watch list, which is dumb. It's stupid as it's a dumb stigma. Okay, are there some Tamers that are kind of weirded? Sure, but I'll be honest with you, I did try Tamer for a while. It was super cool. I liked the idea of having my pet there. I thought she was actually a really cool class, jumping around, and I felt like she was extremely rewarding. Every moment that I played the class felt rewarding, and like I learned something new, felt super rewarding. There's a lot of depth to the class too. It's a very fun class. But Tamer's greatest fault is that it's extremely difficult to play, and not many people play the class for the two reasons that I mentioned. Either one, they don't want to play the child, or what they consider to be a child, or two, they don't, it's just too difficult to pick up and play for them. So like, I personally, like, I think that Tamer, I don't know why they wouldn't just make Tamer, like, give her the diva treatment. Just move her up to 21, make her look older. Like, and then I do feel like that more people would play the class or give it a shot, but they also need to make the class a little bit easier to pick up and play. Like, I just feel kind of bad for Tamer mains because they have a really bad stigma. It's like everybody, like, dude, you see a Tamer main, what's the first comment that you're gonna see in chat? Every time, FBI, open up! Like, dude, guys, come on, man. Like, dude, like, I'll be honest with you. Again, Hooklang is really cool. Honestly, most base Tamer mains still call it Hailing, but like it's such a cool pet, and being able to interact with that pet is in a way that no other class can. I think is really cool. I don't think anybody cares about her age. Lamau. Oh, I do think that they do. And I know that they do because when I played her for 2 weeks, I had literally all the comments in my chat for 2 straight weeks. You guys remember this? It was all it was. It was ridiculous. My entire chat for the whole 2 weeks, I was being harassed about it. It's ridiculous, dude. Like, holy bro. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to deal with the harassment. You straight up get harassed. It's stupid. Right? And all because I want to play with the cool dog. Retcon their age apparently and nothing else. Tamer shy mains, don't shut up about it. Well, I don't know about just their age, right? Like you got to shift. Okay, anyway, we're not going to get into the specifics, but I will say that again, these are two stigmas that I think that Tamer really does struggle with as a class, and it's a shame because it is a cool class. If you give it like an honest shot, it's actually really cool. That being said, in PvE, I do think that the Tamer is kind of underperforming compared to the other classes since they buffed the other classes so much. So I think that it does need a little bit of buff. It is the best 1v1 class in the game, no question. And in 3v3, it's also still really strong. As you get into like large scale PvP, though, it becomes ass. Total ass. You're basically firing a cannon. You spend 10,000 hours trying to learn how to play this incredibly intricate high skill ceiling class only to fire a cannon the entire node war. And every once in a while somebody comes up to you to try to kill your cannon, you get off the cannon and brutally slaughter them. And then in a 1v1, and then you get back on the cannon and you keep doing it. So like that's it, bro. Like it sucks, man. It sucks. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to go kill a cannon in Node War, and it's a Tamer. I'm like, dude, and then they just immediately just destroy you in 1v1s. You know what I mean? Oh my god, bro. Shy is over 500 years old. So is your prison sentence. Okay, Tamer, Awakening, Cloud Stomping, moved the all evasion rate plus 12% for 10 seconds when using the skill to Leaf Weave and Flow Gust. Leaf Weave and Flow Gust. Change the skill as follows. Moved Magic AP plus 16 for 5 seconds when using the skill to Moonlight Strike. Added all evasion rate plus 12% for 10 seconds when using the skill. Fixed the issues where you couldn't perform the skills when pressing LMB or RMB with your short sword or celestial bow staff. Okay, so these are some just quality of life changes, things like that. Moonlight Strike, changed as follows. Remove the bleed damage and movement speed debuffs on hit. Added magic AP plus 16 for 10 seconds when using the skill. Skybound Stab, changed the cooldown from 7 seconds to 6 seconds. Flow Soaring Strike, changed the cooldown from 10 to 7 seconds. So buffs for Tamer. Good. She deserves them. She deserves them. This is good. Because again, you have to work really hard. I'll be honest, suck Tamer. Okay, Succession Tamer, low APM class, guys. Don't be fooled. Low APM, solid AoE and PvE. It's like okay AoE and PvE. This is kind of like where Awakening Maehwa sits now. Kind of like where Awakening. Really good though. I think like solid spot overall. But I think Awakening, I don't know, Awakening kind of passed it recently. But I think that both of them kind of ended up below average overall. Like after all of the other classes have been buffed, I think that Tamer's kind of in a bad spot. But I think that this should put Tamer back in the spot that she was in before. So like you should be competitive in PvE, but you're not going to be like crazy in my opinion. So you're getting some damage on some of your skills. All around Spinner, Cloud Stomping, Moonlight Strike, Flow Full Moon, Hookling Howling, Celestial Slam, and Black Spirit Moonlight Strike. How much damage we get here? We're looking at like 1k. Number of hits look like they're the same. You get like 1k more damage in terms of percentage. I love how like that's how we have to say how much damage you're getting. How much damage are you getting? About 1,000%. That wait, 10x? No. Just like just add 1,000. You know what I mean? What the hell is Hookling? Well, they renamed Tamer's pet to Hookling about 1.5 years ago. So the old Tamer mains, I don't know if Jiggly's still in the chat. But the old Tamer mains, remember, it used to be named Hailing. And now it's named Hookling. And it's funny. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea. But it's kind of crazy because the Tamer mains are actually kind of divided on this. If I say Hailing, there will be people in the chat that say, this guy doesn't even play the game. The thing's name is Hookling and has been for you. What a right? And if I say Hookling, the people in the chat would be like, it's Hailing, you sacrilegious, pious cunt. You know what I mean? Like they're like they will literally attack me. Like I am damned if I do and damned if I don't. Because these people get really defensive over the name of their pet, which is understandable. In my opinion, I think you should be able to name the pet. I think you should be able to name your pet, in my opinion. I think that it should not be like Hookling or Hailing. I think that you should be able to name it. Because then it would help you like have a stronger sense of attachment to it. But I love content o'clock. Right on. Well, it looks like some of these got you're getting probably 10% damage, maybe 15% damage on Tamer across the board. Some of these skills are getting more than that. Some of these skills are getting a little less, but like You see like Hookling Howling is getting like a 2x, a little over 2x change, you know what I mean? But like, you know, overall, is Pink still here? Okay, so that's all the Tamer changes. So those are W changes in my opinion. Oh my god. Oh god. Okay, so I have not seen this yet. Hopefully these are buffs. Oh, it's me. What up, Pinks? Okay, so Maehwa is getting changes. Personally, Succession Maehwa is way stronger in PvP than the Awakening counterpart. I also think that Succession is still stronger in PvE as well. So if they're gonna buff PvE, which it looks like they are, for Succession, Awakening better get 2 times the buff. I think Awakening is scuffed. Awakening is really scuffed. And I play Awakening Maehwa. To be clear, I'm not talking out my ass right now. I feel like I play Awakening Maehwa on my Iron Man. And it's like, well, you play them at low-end spots. Yes, but they're not low-end spots to me, okay? All right? Because my gear is not strong enough, all right? Suck is not stronger in PvE. Oh, okay. Well, then that's good. So I guess after the PvE buffs for Awakening, let's see, it just got changed like 2 weeks ago, so it's tough to know. So Awakening is stronger than Succession in PvE, which is like saying of the F tier classes in the game, of the 2 like bottom classes in the game, Maehwa is fighting for those bottom 2 slots. No, I'm worse. No, I'm worse than you. No, I'm worse than you. No, B. Okay? So Maehwa's not been particularly great in PvE for a long time. Just kind of overall. Maehwa versus Kuno? No, I think Kuno has been better than Maehwa in PvE for a while, especially Succession. Okay, Maehwa. So I will reiterate my opinion on Maehwa. Succession and Awakening Maehwa. So apparently, corrected by chat because apparently I was wrong. But for a long time, Awakening Maehwa was way worse than Succession and basically everything in the game, PvE and PvP. Then they buffed Awakening a few patches ago, like 2 or 3 patches ago when they started doing these changes. And Awakening Maehwa apparently passed Succession Maehwa. But in my opinion, I do think that Maehwa is still a below average PvE grinder. I never see her really. I check Garmoth regularly to try to like for the top end grind zones in the game to try to see which classes are kind of doing well at various zones in the game. I really don't see Maehwa really anywhere. So the fact that Awakening is better than Succession is like king of the shits situation going on. So I do think that both specs of Maehwa need love, in my opinion. Awakening is slightly above average right now. I would say that that's copium. Okay, so Prime Red Moon, Red Moon, Prime Blooming, Razor Blade Corolla, just like the Toyota. Prime Pedal Swirl, Chaos Crimson Gust, Blooming Stride, Blooming Step, Decapitating Dragon, and Decapitating Cyclone are all getting slight PvE buffs. Not very much though. Not very much. I'll be honest with you. This isn't crazy. You're getting like a 5% damage buff. Maybe. Across the board. It's not very much. But like you are getting buffed. Awakening. Honestly, I find it funny that Awakening has a skill that's named Oppression. Ironic. Frostflower. Change the skill as follows. Remove the first attack and change to always activate with the previous extra attack motion. Reduce the attack area to match the visual effects. Improve the combo more smoothly with Oppression, Cold Snap, Moonrise, and Flow. Cloud Stab. Okay, Pedal Drill. Change the effect to all AP plus 20 for 10 seconds to all DP minus 30 for 10 seconds when using the skill. That's really good, right? Because we have a all AP plus 20 on a different skill that I'm blanking on the name of right now. But I'm pretty sure that there's another skill that gives us all AP plus 20 already. An average of 9.7% damage increase on all those skills. I love how here the Maehwas in chat looked at Succession and they literally psychoanalyzed this shit because like, holy shit, they're touching our class. And there's a 9.76 for feeding, of course, percent chance of buff. Anyway. Frostflower. Yes. Frostflower then gives the AP buff, so you're not losing an AP buff, you guys. You're just getting an all DP minus 30 for 10 seconds on Pedal Drill, which is one of your best skills. That's really good, by the way. That's a big buff. This is crazy. This is insane. So Awakening is now Succession who? Who? Bro, it's like that Woody meme. I don't want to play with you anymore, and you drop the Woody doll, and it's just Succession Maehwa. We had that forever. Well, these changes though, where we're moving the all AP for 10 seconds to all DP minus 30. It used to be just both of them were all AP plus 20. It got changed a few weeks ago, and we wanted it reverted back. So you're telling... I thought that a few weeks ago, the all AP plus 20 buff was simply added to Pedal Drill, and then you had 2 all AP plus 20 buffs instead of having a DP debuff. Pedal Drill's been DP down forever. Really? I could have sworn they took it off in the last patch. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Because they did switch where the all AP plus 20, and there's been a lot of changes that I have read through. They did switch where the all AP plus 20 buff for 10 seconds was going. I thought that they basically just doubled it and it was on 2 skills instead of 1, but the all DP buff was removed. But I see. It got changed to an AP stim and it ruined our class. Exactly. So now they're changing it back. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It was all just it was only AP before, and now you have the DP buff back, and which is a huge buff for the class. Massive buff. Pedal Bloom, remove the all DP debuff. Okay, yeah, but it was moved to Pedal Drill again. Oppression, increase the attack area. That's actually really good. That's that little pull skill, the little vacuum skill that she's got. I would say I use that very often though, but it's pretty solid. Black Spirit Moonrise. Increase the activation speed, changed the buff effects to a stiffness on attack 1 hits and floating on attack 2 hits, added a down attack, changed to no longer combo on other skills during the skill. You can combo once the attack ends, improve to combo more smoothly with other skills. Interestingly enough, guys, for Awakening Maehwa, she's one of the only classes in the game where your 10, like your partial BSRs are actually like really good. There's only 2 classes in the game that I'm aware of where you're using your partial BSRs regularly. Well, technically 3. Awakening Maehwa, Awakening Valkyrie, and Archer. Archer uses its 10% to knock people off horses. At least it used to anyway. I think they changed it not too long ago, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was used for. The Black Spirit Terra Sancta was a 50%, which was absolutely insane. So you would pump people with it, and then Maehwa's partial BSRs are really good. Awakening Guardian. Awakening Guardian does have some solid partial BSRs, but you don't see them used very often. They're not like, you're not funneling people. What I would consider a really good partial BSR is when people in AOS are funneling you BSR so that you can use your partial BSRs, right? And again, you only see that on 2 classes of the game, which is Valkyrie and Maehwa. 10% on Warrior. Well, again, yeah, but you're not funneling a Warrior to get him to 10%. He just has that. But yeah, Warriors do have a solid 10%, right? They do. 10% on Megu. Again, same argument. If I have pinks on my team in AOS, I'm absolutely funneling him BSR because he can use the partial BSR, he can use 100%, he can use everything. Same thing with a Valkyrie. Right? Okay, speaking of Valkyries. Okay, so by the way, adjusted the following skills damage. Wait. Awakening got nerfed? Wait, Awakening Maehwa was being brought back in line. There's no extra attack damage on Frostflower anymore. And Black Spirit Moonrise is actually getting a slight damage buff, it looks like. Well, no, nerf. Well, it's probably about the same. It's all ×2 over here now, and there's a ×3 here. It's kind of all over the place. This, however, is just an objective nerf to Flow Frostflower. I'd say overall, these are obviously buffs and quality of life changes for Awakening. Nothing really major, though. Succession actually did get some damage buffs, for sure. All the Maehwas are crying. It's literally their state of being, dude. It's like getting mad at a cloud because it's white. It's all Maehwas do. They cry and they goon to their tits. Valkyrie. Succession needs massive buffs, I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, Awakening Valkyrie is probably okay, but I think that Succession is what really... Succession Valkyrie kind of just sucks at like everything. Awakening is just a better version of Valkyrie. Like you just... The only reason to play Succession is because you're lazy and you don't want to press the amount of buttons it requires for Awakening. Literally. Like the Dark Knights. No, Dark Knights are different. We're trying to marry our class. Rivy, Suck is still dead since the last changes to SOJ. Yeah, Sword of Judgment. Yeah. I know, that's why I said Suck is shit. Okay, anyway, Valkyrie, Prime, Judgment of Light. This is JOL. Cooldown from 14 seconds to 13 seconds. Slightly increase the motion speed. Okay, whatever. Gladius Gloriae, 12 to 10 seconds. Sure, whatever. Cooldown. Righteous Charge, improved to now smoothly combo with Prime Purification. Okay, whatever. All right. Prime Sanctitas de Insular. This is your shift right mouse button in Awakening. Improved. Actually, wait. Is that the jump? Never mind. That's the jump. Improved to now combo smoothly into Prime Purification. Okay, yeah, whatever. It's like whatever. Okay, so here's the... Alright, yeah. Succession Valkyrie getting damage buffs across the board, which I think are much needed. Yeah, I don't think Awakening really needs to be adjusted. Prime Glaring Slash, Prime Shield Throw, Prime Purification, Prime Sanctitas de Insular, Prime Judgment of Light, Prime Judgment of Light 2, and Divine Slam. Really good. Really, really good. Which wizard changes? What did they do to my beautiful woman? Also, which? All right. Oh, it's succession changes. For wizard and witch succession, they shared the same skills with only minor differences from prime elemental flow. This limited how distinct the two classes could be from one another. With this update, we've changed wizard succession by increasing the cooldowns of prime earthquake and prime meteor shower, but boosting their damage to separate the classes' concepts. No! What? So we felt that the classes were too close to one another, so we decided to make them different by giving wizard more damage. Thanks. I think I speak for the rest of the witches when I say sick. Thanks so much for separating the two again. You absolute developers. What in the dude? Why is it that wizard always just gets more damage? Oh no, the cooldown will be longer. They're gonna be able to one-shot people.
And a sub.
Sexist? You know, I used to think it was sexist for a long time. I actually think it's a hotness tax. I think that the devs know that people will be inclined to play the super Coomer Gooner woman, right? But the trade-off is the male counterpart is always objectively stronger, but you can't goon to your character as effectively. Does that make sense? So like, it's kind of a trade-off. It's the pay gap. Exactly, bro. Like, again, the developers have been working for a long time on this game, trying to make... I think it's bullshit. All of the PvPers all constantly say we never get any PvP changes.
Joker_Jake_TTV
which I think is complete
just
bullshit.
Resubscribed for 8 months.
The devs give us PvP changes every patch. It's just player versus paywall instead of player versus player. But they do give us PvP changes every patch. Okay, this time it was the loyalties. All right. So again, this is bad. Additionally, we've adjusted the cooldown reduction for T3 magic when using elemental skills, making T3 magic very based on your skill focus. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a huge L. Did Wizard and Witch need to be separated more as classes? Honestly, do you know what Witch is always doing? Succession Witches are always complaining that they don't have what Succession Wizard has. And Succession Wizard is always complaining because they don't have anything. Okay, so Succession Wizard is dog shit, right? Succession Witch is worse dog shit. All right, way down here, you can barely even see the arrow. Right? Succession Witch is always trying to catch up to Suck Wizard, and Suck Wizard is trying to catch up to anything relevant at all when it comes to PvP. In PvE, Suck Witch is actually stronger than Suck Wizard because of how the two classes function and the MMA. Okay. But now they're going to make sure that Succession Wizard is objectively stronger in every way. They're just going to make sure it's better because its passive is better. We're just going to give it damage. This will separate the two classes because one will be dog shit definitively, and then the other one will be very strong. So this will make the two classes unique because we are also uniquely. Main in Succession, Prime Voltage Discharge Focus. Increase attack 1 second activation speed. Prime Voltaic Discharge Diffuse. Change the skill as follows. Move the attack area closer to the character. Change the knockback debuff to now apply only on attack first hits. Increase the activation speed. Okay. Prime Earth's Response Destruction. Remove the movement speed debuff on hits. What? Fix the defense. That's just a PvP nerf. That's not even a PvE. Wait, what? Fix the defensive effect in the description to match the actual effect, whatever. Change your character now rotates to follow the camera direction until the attack, right up until the attack during the skill. Well, that's good. That way you can make sure that people can't get behind you while they're asking you. Sweet. Increase the rotation speed of your character to match the camera direction while moving during the skill. So again, guys, basically, Wizard and Witch used to use Prime Earth's Response Destruction, but like you couldn't like rotate the character while using the skill. You could with mouse to move, but now they're just like making it you can just rotate your camera. Basically what this means is people won't be able to get behind you as easily. Prime Fireball. Change the skill as follows. Change so instantly casting and charging the skill now deals the same damage. Huh? Then why would you charge the skill? Why even have a cast time on the skill that I don't what? There's no more charging. Improves to your character. Hold on. Improves to your character can rotate according to the camera direction right up until firing the skill. Once fired, your character will stop rotating the camera. No. There's no cast time on Fireball if you use it after Earth's Response or Magical Evasion or Teleport. But there is a cast time on the skill if you just raw dog it. But like the trade-off was it did more damage if you raw dogged it. So the only time that was ever really useful at all was during Siege when you were doing your best impression of a pigeon sitting up on a high ground just shitting on people the whole time and you just wouldn't be moving around, so you would just Fireball without moving, right? But when you were fighting, it really was irrelevant. Prime Earth's Response Flow. Change to your character now rotates to follow the camera. Yep, that's good. On the attack. Prime Voltaic Pulse. Change the cast speed effect to what the holy shit? To plus 20% for never mind. We're huge. Never mind. I'm tagging Witch. This. What the 20% instead of 10 is crazy. Cooldown change from 6 to 7 seconds. Nobody cares. That is easily a great trade. That is so good. Wait, what the? That's a giga buff. Holy shit. And this is for Witch and Wizard, right? Yeah, this is for Witch and Wizard. Holy shit. Prime Bolide of Destruction. This is only okay, change the skill as follows. Added a casting speed plus 20% for 10 seconds when using the skill. That is crazy. Change the cooldown from 6 to 7 seconds. Well, wait. Wait a minute. Well, hold on. The advantage of using Voltaic Pulse before was that it gave you the attack cast speed buff. So in PvP, guys, you would use Bolide in Succession because it was range. It was a large radius AoE ranged skill that also knocks people over. Okay, or bounds them, right? Bound them. Very powerful skill. The disadvantage that Bolide has was that it didn't have attack cast speed buff, a steroid buff on it. But in PvP, it was still better because of how strong it was as a ranged skill. Now it's like, okay, well, now you just gave that to Bolide too. I don't. What? It's kind of weird. I guess It's, I don't know. I feel like Bullite's going to be stronger than Voltaic at a lot of places now because it all happens in front of you instead of around you. So like at tower spots, I guess Voltaic is probably good, right? When the mobs can get in behind you and whatnot. But like at spots like Darkseeker's Retreat, where the mobs are always out in front of you, Bullite's probably
I
really
wish
good.
to see you grinding deck.
Prime Fireball Explosion, Prime Spread, and Prime Fireball Explosion Aerial. Change the cooldown to 7 seconds from 9 seconds. That's a huge buff. Holy moly. Prime Lightning Storm Strike and Prime Lightning Storm High Voltage is now 7-second cooldown instead of 9. Wow. Change that holding the F key after use prioritizes activation of Rain of Fire or Earthen Eruption. Okay, no one ever does this. What are we talking? Okay, nobody cares. But the cooldown, this is crazy, bro. These are really strong succession caster buffs. Prime Frigid Fog Disrupt, 7 seconds instead of 8. Cooldown now. Prime Frigid Fog Control, which is now 7 seconds instead of 10. That's a little bit better. Prime Aqua Jail Explosion. Change the debuffs movement and evasion rate decrease on hits to now be magic DP minus 15. That's a W. Change the cooldown from 5 to 7 seconds. This is actually really good for AOS, in my opinion. This is really good for AOS. But like, I'll be honest with you, the movement speed was also good in AOS. So losing the move speed is kind of a hit, but then now you're going to debuff them and teleport away. Change the cooldown from 5 to 7 seconds. A little bit of a nerf. Change skill add-on tiers from 1 to 2. Okay. Prime Equilibrium Break. This is what most people take in PvE. Change the skill as follows. AP decrease on hits to magic DP minus 15. Huge buff. Huge buff. No one gives a about this. This is good. Change the cooldown from 6 to 7 seconds. Normally, Equilibrium Break. Oh, man. Normally, that's used as just a stall frontal guard in PvP. But when it does hit in PvP, giving it magic DP minus is much stronger than just having their AP go down for a little while. Prime Earthquake Destruction and Prime Earthquake Evade. Remove the magic DP debuff on hits. Okay, that's a little rough, but okay. Holy shit. Succession Witch is back, baby. Yo, Suck Witch is back, boys. Meat is back on the menu. Mother of God. Suck Wizard is also relevant, but still not as good. But we'll get to those changes in a second, because it'll probably be better after we finish reading those changes. Prime Earth Arrow, Prime Fireball Explosion Spread, Prime Fireball Explosion Aerial, Prime Meteor Shower, Prime Residual Lightning Combo, Prime Residual Lightning High Voltage, Prime Voltaic Discharge Focus, Prime Voltaic Discharge Diffuse, Prime Earth's Response Flow, Prime Earth's Response Destruction, Prime Bolide of Destruction, Prime Voltaic Pulse, Prime Aqua Jail, and Prime Equilibrium Break. Every single one of those skills was buffed in PvE damage on both Succession Witch and Succession Wizard. Now, Succession Wizard is also getting another buff. Back, where did it go? Fair. Suck Witch has always been really good in PvE, but it's really hard. Suck Wizard has always been... You don't play Succession Wizard in PvE. Stop it. What are you, Huntler? What are you, some kind of... What's going on? Wizard Succession. Rain of Fire. Cooldown change from 11 to 10 seconds. Prime Earthquake Destruction. Change the cooldown from 12 to 20 seconds. What the... Oh my God. Okay, well... Yeah, they said that they were going to lengthen the cooldowns. Prime Meteor Shower Focus. 30 seconds! Oh my God. Okay, so, all right, never mind. Never mind. That's crazy. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. So Suck Witch can essentially use Prime Meteor Focus 2 times in the time it takes Wizard to use it once. Okay, so the damage buff for Prime Meteor Focus had better be 2x. They had to literally, and to be clear, if it is 2x, it's way stronger than Witch. It's not even close. It's not even close. The amount of burst damage that they will be able to pump out will be insane. Now in PvE, I'll be honest with you, the problem with it being a 30-second cooldown in PvE is that you can't use it every pack. You guys know what I mean? In Darkseekers, you're going pack to pack more than 30 seconds. So, right, like more than once every 30 seconds. So like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I think like if you're going really fast, you're just not going to have meteor up every pack necessarily. Anyway, let's see how much they did end up buffing it. Prime Elemental Flow. Change the cooldown reduction effect per element when using tier 1 and tier 2 add-ons. Never mind. What the wait, bro, none of these cooldowns matter at all. What the is this? So let me get this straight. So Wizard is supposed to have like oh, we gave it more damage, but we gave it, it's more damage, but it's a longer cooldown, it's fine. But then they get cooldown reduction because we okay, like what are we talking about? So again, the trade-off was supposed to be that they have more damage, but it's on a longer cooldown. But now it's not on a longer cooldown because the cooldown reduction was reduced. So now it just has more damage. I'm gonna crash out. That's it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate when the devs literally, the male classes always have to be better. The male must always be stronger than the female. They are physically stronger. They're more capable. Women are dog shit. And that's just how we think here at the Pearl Abyss Development Office. Okay? I don't understand. Striker is better than Mystic. Woosa is better than Maehwa. Wizard is better than Witch at everything. Ninja is better than Kuno at everything. Like, bro, name a warrior is better than Valkyrie at literally everything. Me. Holy shit. Bro, how can you make this change? How in the do you literally type this unironically? Well, don't worry. We're buffing the damage, but nerfing the cooldown. And then very conveniently, you buff the cooldown reduction so that the cooldown is basically negated altogether. So they have the skills off cooldown just as frequently as Witch does, but they're gonna do... What the f***ing shit is that buff? 2 times the damage? It's only ×3 now. It's only ×3 instead of ×4. It's fine. It's only ×3 instead of ×4. It's fine. It's fine. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal. It's fine. I'm not even upset. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Oh my God. I'm so pissed. Bro, what is this shit, man? Bro, they're just objectively better than Witch in every way. Guys, please understand that in order to use Succession Witch's passive, you have to actually be good at the game. Okay? You have to literally... Okay, for those of you that don't know, Succession Witch has a passive where if you use... You know what? I'm just going to show it. I'm full crash out. Full crash out. I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. I don't care anymore. I'm showing it. I'm showing it. Okay, so Succession Witch. All right, Succession Witch's passive means that you can use something called her Elemental Flow to basically elementalize your MMA. You're like, well, what's your MMA? Multiple magic arrows. So this skill. Oh, well, that doesn't seem that great. Well, actually, it is pretty good. Okay, so it's a 3-second cooldown, and normally that's what it looks like. But if you use an Earth skill before it, it gains a frontal guard and a cool effect with more damage. So it becomes like an earthy version, right? And each one of these has a different kind of effect. If you use a lightning skill, it ends up getting like a little explosion at the end. It does a lot of single target damage right at the front, right? And if you use a fire skill, You can see it comes out. There's a big AoE because it's got the biggest AoE of the group. And then the same thing with the frost, right? But like, here's the deal. That means in order to utilize this passive correctly, you have to consciously think about what skill you're using before you use MMA. And you have to actually be good at the game in order to use the proper elementalized MMA. Okay? All right? So you have to actually be good in order to play this class correctly. That's why there aren't very many Succession Witches. And those of you that are playing Succession Witch, you're a Giga Chad and you deserve a promotion. Now, let's talk about Succession Wizard's passive. Do you know what Succession Wizard's passive is? That's right. So basically, all they have to do is cast skills, and then their skills just give cooldown reduction to their other skills. So what this means for Wizard is they can just over and over on their keyboard like a bunch of flaming with absolutely no skill expression whatsoever and get the maximum possible cooldown reduction all the time, okay, on every one of their skills. All right, so not only is their passive objectively way easier to proc, and in practice much stronger. Okay, it's in PvP, it's not even remotely close. Succession Wizard is way stronger in PvP. It's no contest because your high damage skills, your high value skills are off cooldown much more frequently because again, I have to unmute to spam the... Okay, like that's it. Meanwhile, Wizards over here, or Witches over here. Oh, shit. Okay, like we're all locked the in. Okay, like we're so laser focused on our character's ass. We're sweating out of our minds trying to make this class work and make it even remotely close to what Succession Wizard has ever had. Okay, and now I look at this and they're making his passive even better. You are getting even better cooldown reduction. So you're getting more damage, but the reason I'm freaking out about this, guys, is because the trade-off was supposed to be that you were supposed to have much more cooldown on your skill. But here's the thing, just spam your skills, and then the cooldown will be the same again. Or very close to the same again, and then you'll just have 2 times the damage. Of which? Do you see why I'm mad now? That's incredibly frustrating. This is a buff to Wizard in PvE and PvP. Absolutely insane buff. Which is so what's Witch getting? That's the fun part. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. In PvE, I think that again, Wizard is now going to be catching up to Witch in a reasonable manner. But in PvP, the gap just got so much further apart. It's a canyon level gap between the two in PvP, and that's why I'm upset. Because Suck Wizard was already infinitely better at PvP, but the trade-off was that Suck Witch was at least good at PvE, and Suck Wizard was lackluster in PvE. Now, Suck Wizard is going to be much stronger in PvE because they're going to get so much cooldown reduction. They're going to be able to pump out all their skills much more frequently, and their skills are going to do a crazy amount more damage overall. Okay, so they should catch up, no problem. They should be a top tier class in PvE. And then in PvP, this is also a buff to PvP too. That's why this is ridiculous. Is that in PvP, the gap is just, it's not even like who? Where? Huh? What am I, a Mystic? What the is this shit? Mystic is so far behind Striker in PvP they can't even see each other anymore. Anyways, let's see what Witch got. I'm sure it's something reasonable. Earth interruption. Cooldown change from 11 to 10 seconds. There it is. We're good. We're fine. Everything's fine. We're good. Everything is saved. We're good. It's equal now. You don't have to change anything else. We're good. No big deal. Prime MMA got slightly more damage. Prime Meteor Focus Fireball got slightly more damage, and Prime Earth Interruption got slightly, like 100% more damage. Like literally, not 100% as in it doubled the damage, like 100 out of like 2,400%. It actually didn't even, it barely went up by 100%. But oh, it got ×3 instead of ×2 though, so we're good. Earth and Eruption should still do more damage now. Awesome. Sweet. Sadly, Wizard can cast it 6 times more frequently than we can, so still doesn't matter. No big deal. Oh, good. My favorite class in the game. Let's buff it again.
Meteor focus went from X4 to X3 BTW.
What? You gotta be kidding me! So not all, we're doing less damage with Prime Meteor Focus. They're doing more damage, and the cooldown is still the same. It's about the same. Oh, thank God we're about the same. Thank God Wizard is also about the same, man. That's sick. Thank God. Thank God I have you as a chatter here to tell me that don't worry, Blue. It's okay because the damage is the same as it was before. Thank God you're here. Why am I... Damn it. I broke my camera. Okay, tell me that's the biggest crash out I'm gonna have in these patch notes, straight up. Please do not tell me that they buffed Striker again. And if they did buff Striker, please tell me it's only Succession, not Awakening. Like please.
Not like this.
Okay. Main Succession. Thank God. Thank God. Okay. Heart and Soul. Cooldown changed from 9 to 8 seconds. To be clear, Suck Striker I do think needs a buff, because it's so canyon level far behind Awakening Striker, just like every other class in the game, that I think that we should buff it so that it's also S+ tier 2. Okay. Prime Crimson Fang. Added an all AP plus 20 for 10 seconds while using the skill. Prime Skull Crusher. Added an all DP minus 20 for 10 second on hits. Improved the combo more smoothly with Rage Hammer.
Subscribed for 7 months.
I'll tell you what, Suck Mystic better get these changes too. Succession Flow, Savage Fang. Fix the description to mention the correct skill name. Y'all typed the wrong skill name? How long's that been like that? Like 6 years? Bro, no, literally, like nobody realized this for like 6 years. What was it? It's just strikers just can't read. I guess that's the reason. I mean, honestly, you can't fix shit like this if the player base doesn't know how to read. So it makes sense. Prime Knee Hammer, Prime Somersault. Change so that the damage is reduced during the cooldown. Prime Wolf's Fang. Adjust the damage when on cooldown. Oh, thank God. It's only Succession changes. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. No crash out here, guys. I think Suck Striker deserves this. Prime Knee Hammer, Prime Hidden Claw, Prime Crimson Fang, Prime Explosive Blow, Prime Somersault, Prime Roaring Tiger, Prime Wolf's Fang, Wolf's Explosive Fangs, and Heart and Soul. Nice. So what's really important here, guys, for you to understand when you don't play Striker, these are important changes, even if you don't play Striker, because now you can just say Striker is overpowered, period, and you can't have some loser ape in your friend group be like, well, I played Succession and we're not very good. Okay, so now you don't have to specify which version of Striker is OP. You can just say Striker. Okay, and to be clear, Succession Striker is still really only amazing at 1v1s. Okay, but now in PvE it's going to be absolutely stupid. It's going to be super good, which is good because now it's just like its Awakening counterpart. Now let's talk about Strikers, Awakening Striker. Thank God. Okay, it's just nothing major. Okay, all right, Nova. Okay, so we just hit the Nova changes. I'm pretty sure this is like the halfway point. I don't know how I'm still here. I'm so glad I did not do this in the patch note rundown. I literally would just, I'm so glad I did not get to Wizard and Witch last night. I'm so glad. Okay, Nova. I will tell you this. I was dueling an Awakening Nova in the battle arena a couple nights ago. And to put this in perspective, this guy had 18 Novas. 18 characters that were all Novas. All of them. Every single character. Okay? He's an Awakening Nova.
That
and he
was Neon Arc Nova, Heart Ripper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, there he is. Yeah, it's Heart Ripper. Yeah, that was him. This guy is like the Giga Chad of Awakening Novas. This dude, he knew everything. I was like, yo, what'd you just catch me with there? He's like, oh, that's riposte, 5-second cooldown. And then he told me that the skill input too. This dude knew everything he had to know about the class all the time. And then I literally, it was so bad. This guy was farming me. It was so bad that I was like, okay, you can't grab me and you can't use riposte. He's like, okay. And then he still farmed me like 6 more times. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And then he came into voice and he was like, dude, you can't complain. I mean, I wasn't complaining with him, but he goes, you can't complain because on this next patch, I am being nerfed. And I said, no, Nova is being nerfed. He goes, no, I am being nerfed. So what do you mean? He's like, I have 18 Novas. This is all I have. I have no other classes. And I was like, oh my God, you are being nerfed. Also, how much cocaine do you have in your house? Don't answer that on stream. Like holy shit. Like this dude is legitimately so dedicated. I was so impressed. But I'll be honest with you, that is exactly the person I was looking to duel. Exactly the person that I was looking to duel. Total Giga Chad on the Awakening Nova. None of the good things to say. Anyway, I heard that these Awakening Nova nerfs are pretty extensive. And I just want to say, Awakening Nova was absolutely a little overtuned in PvE. It's not really up for debate, okay? But the trade-off of Awakening Nova is that she's pretty high APM and very difficult to control. But if you can control her, she's absolutely blasting pretty much every version of PvE, right? But it's very, very difficult to control. Again, it's like throwing a needle, right? And trying to thread it through like small little hoops. You know what I mean? Like you're this tiny little squishy like blonde girl with almost no defensive stats at all, but you move at like Mach 7, right? So again, it's a trade-off. So like I don't really feel like people felt that Awakening Nova was necessarily too brutal, mainly because it's just difficult to pull off. Like it was an extremely high skill ceiling class, and I felt that it rewarded players for investing a lot of time on the class. Does it need a little bit of a nerf? Probably. But we'll see what they did. Nova Awakening has been adjusted to enhance her explosive moves via On Guard and her Sting, which switches between Scythe and Rapier styles. Sting focuses on delivering powerful hits with swift, efficient movements, so we've reduced its attack area and adjusted the combos and the effect of Comet. Royal Fencing Lunge and Twisted Orbit to strike enemy weaknesses more aggressively, while also significantly boosting their overall damage. Additionally, to emphasize the Rapier's style thrusting focus. Okay, you can't put Rapier and thrusting focus in the same. It's not, bro. Somebody takes too long on a couple of those words, man. It's. We've reduced the travel distance and impact of slashing skills, making thrusting skills stand out more. I love thrusting skills on my Nova. In game, I did play Awakening Nova for a while, by the way. For a little while. I did not for very long, but you guys remember. I had like the Eurobeat music on the whole time. It was fun. Okay, so this sounds like a buff. What are we... Did they buff you guys? Because this all sounded like they're buffing you. Have I been bamboozled? Main succession. Change the following skills so that their debuffs now apply in PvE only. Storming Star. Command Fianchetto and Command Rhyme Ice. All right, sure. Okay, Royal Fencing Lunge. Change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. Ouch. Change your character to no longer rotate based on your camera direction on attack hits. So somebody at Pearl Abyss played Awakening Nova and they were like, dude, I'm getting whiplash. Straight up, you know that's what happened, bro. Like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Change to now apply super armor during the skill. Okay, that's a buff. That's a buff. Remove down smash during the skill. Slight nerf. Change the cooldown from 3 to 5 seconds. Big nerf. Lunge is kind of an important skill for Nova. So 3 to 5 seconds is kind of substantial there. Change so you can now use the skill during cooldown. Okay. Change to deal reduced damage during cooldown. So irrelevant. Nobody cares. Reduce the all evasion rate decrease on hit. Or removed the all evasion rate decrease on hits. Surely they moved it to another skill. They can't just remove that. Change to be usable with your Morning Star while Icy Kiss and Face of Darkness are locked. Okay, it sounded like Pig Cave. Oh, no, it's Sangun. Okay. Sangussy. All right, so I'll be honest. Lunge, definitely overall a nerf. It'll depend on the attack area and stuff, but that definitely looks like a nerf. It did get super armor, though, so... PMA! Okay, Royal Fencing Remiss. Change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. Damn. Change your character to rotate based on camera direction while attacking. How much attack area did you guys lose? How much attack area did Nova realistically, like percentage-wise? Was it like 10%? Or is it like 30%? Like how much AoE we talking about here? Change your character to rotate based on camera direction while attacking. Remove super armor during the skill. Oof. Oof. Added stiffness on hit and bound on last hits. Now applies super armor when core Royal Fencing Remiss is learned. Okay, about 30%. Oh my god, they removed 30% of your AoE. What? That's a... Okay. Basically came Awakening Megu. That, if Awakening Nova loses 30% of its AoE, it has less AoE than Awakening Megu. I've played both classes. There's just no way. Awakening Megu has had our AoE expanded over time. Like, there's just no way. Move the all DP decrease on hits debuff to Royal... Okay, so they... No evasion, though, but all DP debuff move to Royal Fencing Fléché. Okay. Change to recover HP... Change the recover per hit effect from SP to 120 HP. Well, that's a good change. But losing protection, not worth it. Cooldown, change from 4 to 6 seconds. Skill out on tier 1 to 2. Oof. Okay, so overall, kind of a nerf, to be honest. Definitely a nerf there. Black Spirit, Royal Fencing Remiss. Change the following. Remove super armor during the skill. What? Which percent BSR is remiss? I remember. Hold. Pause. Which... You need Jesus. Hold up. Okay, so that's the 10%. Okay, so that shit's useless now. If you're not protected during that, that's cooked. Anyway, Black Spirit, I'll be honest with you, the 10% is like whatever. This isn't that big of a deal. Remove the all DP decrease on hits. Remove the super armor. Added stiffness on hits and knockdown on last hits. Change the recover HP effect to be 160 HP instead of SP. Change the recover to stars breath per hit from 3.3 to 3.8%. Like, okay, sure. That's not that big of a deal. Excel, oh boy. Royal Fencing Remiss. Now, this is a big boy skill. It's a big boy skill. Reduce the attack area. Ooh, change your character to rotate your character based on attacking. Change the cooldown from 4 to 6 seconds. Remove super armor during the skill. God, added stiffness on hits. The knockdown on last hits. Now applies super armor when core Royal Fencing Remiss is learned. Change the recover from SP to 160 HP. Change to now only combo into Breaking Orbit and Royal Fencing Lunge while attacking. Move the all DP decrease on hits debuff to Royal Fencing Fléché. Okay, so I'm gonna give honest take so far. How many more? Oh! What did they do to little bro? What the? Oh my god. Oh, stop. Stop! She's already dead. Okay, so here's my opinion so far. Okay, I will tell you this. I think that nerfing... this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I think that nerfing the AoE on Awakening Nova is A-okay. I think that it is reasonable and very understandable that if you're playing a class that is using a little needle for a weapon and is extremely quick, can gap close from across the screen in like half a second, less than half a second. Okay, it makes sense that that class, punishment for that would be that you have to aim the AoE very cleanly, right? Having a lot of AoE on a class that is that mobile is too strong in comparison to other classes in the game. And I think that nerfing the AoE is an absolutely fine thing to do. Now, that being said, nerfing the AoE while also nerfing the protection, which was already, I'll be honest with you, not the best. So like now, and the cooldown. So you're nerfing the cooldowns, you're nerfing the protections and the AoEs and how you can flip your camera around during the skills. So you're making it more difficult. Like the Awakening Nova players essentially have to relearn how to use some of these skills because they're used to using like mouse move and stuff instead of this rotating their camera. Like this is rough. This is kind of a rough like change for a lot of the skills, and they're all getting the same treatment. Reducing the attack area, in my opinion, was fine. Removing some of the protection, maybe okay, sure. The rest of this on top of this is a little rough, in my opinion. I think that this is a step too far. Hey guys, is anyone gonna tag Awakening Nova on this patch? I'm just kidding, bro. I'm staying with Awakening Megu. Holy shit, this shit is ass. What the? Royal Fencing Flechet. Okay, we already went through this one. Reduce the attack area. Fix the attack motion. Oh, never mind. We didn't go through this. Fix the attack to match the motion. Change your character to rotate your camera based on attacking. Change to now only combo into Black Orbit, Royal Fencing Lunge, and Royal Fencing Remiss while attacking. Change the cooldown from 4 to 6 seconds. Again, skill out on tier 1 to 2. Move the... Okay, I think that was Royal Pig Cave, but I don't know. Move the casting speed increase effect to Royal Fencing Lunge, and change to now require SF after attack 1 to combo into attack 2. Okay, that's kind of weird, but okay. Was the loot buff? Okay, never mind then. So C8 Sangussi. All right, Excel Royal Fencing Flechet. Again, an important skill. Change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. And again, I'm on board with that. Like her AoE was literally insane for how fast she moved. Fix the attack to match the motion. Increase the activation speed. This sounds solid. Change your character to rotate based on the camera direction. Just only until just before the attack. Change the cooldown from 4 to 6 seconds. So basically across the board, she's getting like a plus 50% cooldown nerf. Like 4 to 6 seconds doesn't sound like that much, guys, but that's half the cool. Like that's crazy, bro. Change the skill out in tier 1 to 2. Move the cast speed increase effect to Comet. Okay, Royal Fencing Riposte. This skill, bro. This skill me so many times when I fought that kid. Change the skill as follows. Reduced the attack area. Change the duration of the all AP increase effect from 5 to 10 seconds. Change to now only apply the effect when the skill is first used and not per every motion. Change your character from moving during attacks 2 and 3. Change the floating debuff on attack 3 to now apply in PvE only. I feel better. I feel better. You're pissed. That skill, bro. Change the forward guard to last the entire motion. So it is forward guarded? Bro, I asked this kid in the battle arena, go, yo, is that protected? He goes, no, completely unprotected. You could catch me out of it. Caught. You stupid bitch. It is forward guarded. It was only forward guard for the first hit. He said completely unprotected. We didn't use the whole animation, only the last hit after the dash. Okay, never mind. That's why he said that then. Either way, I will say, for what it's worth, I am really glad that I had that kid catch me with something other than riposte. Now you know. That's the reason. That's why I said, okay, you should try to use something different. I didn't even know that this was getting nerfed. But you should try to use something different. You got practice with it. Change to now applied down attack. Change to be comboable from one attack with your Morningstar. Change so that you combo into attack 3 from the following skills: Starfall, Stars Call, and Excel Stars Call Comet. This, okay, riposte got gutted. I didn't even really think it was all that good because mainly it was unprotected. Like the float at least was unprotected. Like, I didn't even really think riposte was even like, it's a good skill, it's a good catch, but there was a trade-off to it, right? I felt like it was like a reasonable skill. Oh, okay, sure. Like, man, swooping ring. This is one of my favorite skills. I'm pretty sure this is WRMB. I'm pretty sure this is the WRMB skill that like thrusts you forward. That. I'm pretty sure it's that. That's like my favorite skill in the kit. Yo, that's a Digi member. Yeah, you guys aren't... No, it's not Saturday yet. You don't have to log in yet. Get your nasty looking dragon out of here. How are we supposed to goon to a dragon unless it's a Drakania? Get this shit the out of here. I love how it was the Shy's dragon. Of course it was the terrorist. All right, swooping ring. Change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. Unified the attack area to the widest range for all level skills. Unify the travel distance to the furthest range for all level skills, so you no longer recover stamina during the skill. Ooh! They kneecapped my girl! Oh! Oof! Change the skill cooldown from 8 to 7 seconds. Improve to smoothly combo from Comet, Royal Fencing, Repose. Okay, so... And some of these other skills. Yeah, so not recovering stamina. Stamina's a problem on Nova. Like, she's kind of a 2-pump chump, if you know what I mean. She goes in, she blows her load, she has to get the back out again, let her stamina regenerate before she can try to do it again. So that makes it even worse. Excel swooping ring. Reduce the attack area. Change the cooldown from 6 to 7 seconds. Improve to smoothly combo with these other skills. Okay. Comet. Change the skill as follows. Unify the travel distance in the attack area to the highest skill level. Slow the initial motion speed when activating the skill. You'll maintain the same fast activation speed as before when comboing with the other skills. Change knockdown on hits to be in PvE only now. Now applies super armor during the skill. Knockdown will only apply in PvP when core Comet is learned. Ouch. Owie. Man, they lose in CC, they lose in protection, they're losing damage, they're losing AoE, they're losing everything. They're fix the description to mention no collision while moving. And by the way, this is why I never listen to the devs. We're at Comet right now. Guys, when you read this, do you feel that this paragraph adequately prepared you for what they actually did to the class? No, it did not. This made it sound like they were being buffed. Like, straight up. This legitimately made it sound like it was being buffed. I already did that. Okay, brutal ring. Change the skill as follows. Change so you can now activate the skill by pressing Shift F with your sting. Okay. Change command Blooming Icy Thorns to quick ring menu slot. Use only with your sting. Change the bound on hit effects to apply in PvE only. Damn. Added a forward guard during the skill. Increase the attack area. Woohoo! Baby, don't say she got only nerfed. Change so you cannot combo into Star's Ring during the skill, but only have the skill as the attack ends. Ooh. Okay. So this looks like overall pretty big buff. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you know the only people celebrating these changes right now? They're in the chat right now. Succession Novas. Okay. All right. This. I'm just saying. First time. I'm telling you, Suck Nova is over here literally like just going, yeah, get the f down here with the rest of us, you pig. Come roll around in this slop at the bottom of the food chain with the rest of us, you ungrateful bitch. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Suck Novas are like justice. Suck Nova's faster than Awakening. Okay, whoa there. Whoa there, Bessie. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's crazy statement. Slicing Ring. Change the skill as follows. Change the attack area to center on your character. Change the defensive effect from forward guard to super armor. Change the recover HP effect amount from 240 to 300. Fix the issue where the forward guard blocks after comboing after certain skills or recover additional Star's Breath. Okay. Change the recovered Star Breath hit amount from 1.5 to 3%. Okay. Change so you can now only combo into Breaking Orbit, Royal Fencing Lunge, Comet, and Brutal Ring during the skill. Okay. That's all right. That's reasonable. Frozen Ring. Change the skill as follows. Change the defensive effect from super armor to forward guard. Sure. Is this the vacuum? Increase the duration of the defense effect. Change the duration of the all DP decrease from 5 to 10. Added the stun on hits in PvE only. No, it's Shift Q. Oh, okay, all right, this is Shift Q. Add a stun on hits in PvE only. Okay. I love when they do shit like this. Guys, we added a stun to the skill. This is useless. You're welcome. Change the debuff applied when learning Core Frozen Ring Stiffness to stun. Okay. Change so that you can only combo Brutal into Brutal Ring after all attacks have hit. Okay, so you can't cancel it anymore. Excel Frozen Ring. Try the movement combo. Okay. If I can remember it. It's been a while since I played this class. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's like WRB, WF, Shift, LB, F. Wait, that can't be it. I did not go nearly far enough. Hold on. Okay, WRB, WF, wait, Shift, LB, F. Wait, no. Straight up, no. You're trolling. I'm doing it right? That's it, right? It's across the bottom of, you're trolling. It's across the bottom of my screen. That's it, right? That is it, right? Like I'm doing it correctly. Okay. All right. One more time. We're starting at the horse. I should be able to reach that tree way over there. This class is dead, bro. Why the f would anyone? This is like Awakening Dark Knight, bro. People are just gonna stand in town, take screenshots. Great life skilling character, honestly. Super great life skilling character. I think she'd be a great cook. She looks like she belongs in the kitchen with the rest of them, bro. You put that DK in that kitchen too, bro. She look great. You stare at that ass, bro. It's basically a caboose. You know what I'm saying? That's all she's good for anyway. Anyway, that's crazy. That actually got nerfed by at least 20%. I'm not joking. That didn't look like a far amount, guys. That was at least 20% of her movement. She's like that's crazy. Also, her AoE also got nerfed. So like she's, woo, man, that'd be a little rough. Okay, Excel Frozen Ring. Change the skill as follows. Change the defensive effect from super armor to forward guard. Increase the duration of the defense effect. Change to now combo smoothly with other skills. Change the debuff applied when learning Core Frozen Ring from stiffness to stun. Okay, all right, yeah, sure. I think we already read this. Change so that you can now combo into Brutal Ring. Yeah, we already read this. That overall kind of neutral. Twisted Orbits. Change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. Change to your character cannot change directions while moving during the skill. Change to your character displays a falling animation if stopped midair. Why? What? This feels so bad. You should be removing this from the game. It feels like you're like you lose control of your character whenever you get the fall out of it. What is that, dude? This should never be added to any class. It feels so bad to lose control of your character. You guys ever been like doing a skill, you go off a slight decline and your character's like, oh my God. It's cancer. It's cancer. Change the defensive effect to super armor while moving, and defensive effects will not activate while attacking. Remove the iframe in PvE only. Remove the down smash. Added a stiffness. You're huge. Stiffness. Huge buff. Change to no longer be a bit usable during cooldown. Improves the oh my God. Improves so you can combo with LMB to combo. Bro, this has gotta be for Awakening Nova mates. This is so brutal. Guys, I'm not even through it all yet, bro. There's still more. There's still more. Bro. This is so cooked. Oh my God. Okay, so Excel Twisted Orbit. Again, like Awakening Nova maids reading this are like, okay, change the skill as follows. Reduce the attack area. Change to your character cannot change directions while moving during the skill. Change to your character displays a falling animation if stopped midair. Change the defensive effect to only iframe while moving. Reduce the removed invincible in PvE. Remove down smash. Added a stiffness. Cooldown from 5 to 3. No longer usable during cooldown. Bro. And it's on every skill. Every skill is like this, dude. Bro, you're like in tears, bro. Holy shit, bro. They're legitimately just destroying Nova. Holy shit. And the worst part about this whole thing, do you guys want to know the worst part? Is if they had done Nova at the very start of the changes, you would all be on the copium. They're going to change it. They'll change it. They'll find the error of their way. But you know that this is the last balance patch. They said that this is the last one. This is it. This is your class for the next year. When was the last time you saw Awakening Nova get changes that were significant? Never. Does not happen. Doesn't happen. Okay, so for them to change it this dramatically, you're cooked, guys. They might give you back like a little bit, but this is cooked. What do you mean our class? We already rerolled. I love how Awakening Novas, okay, most classes, there's like a kinship between Awakening and Succession players, like Dark Knights. It's like,
Nova
we don't...
mains be like, our expectations were low, but holy
Awakening DKs look at Suck DKs like Kale looked at Morgana in the Still Here trailer, but like we respect it, you know what I mean? Hold on. This is how Awakening DKs look at Awakening or Succession DKs.
Tomorrow is a hope.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Look at it. Look at them down there in the mud. Nasty little vermin. But we do understand. We do understand them. At the end of the day, we will still use them to defeat the evil. Okay? Which is... honestly... because it takes 2 Dark Knights to even wound a striker. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not even capping. Okay, like, actually, though, let's watch this. See, unironically, this is literally 2 Dark Knights versus a striker. Like, they're even red. All right, get in there, get the wheel and force it down. Okay, try to see the catastrophe. Okay, well, I'm trying to. He just doesn't take any damage. I don't know what you want me to get back in there. Use lunacy. Oh, son of a. He grabbed him. He's got another grab. He's got 2. My God, his dick is huge. Ult him! Just ult him! Get ult him! Okay, we got him on the ground! I got the clasp up! I got the clasp up! Get him with the video! You're disgusting, by the way, you freak. Who plays Succession? Anyways... I'm, like, straight up, that was honestly cinema. Straight up. Not even joking. Shot for shot remake. Either way, all of that to say that most of the time, classes feel a kinship with other classes. Okay? With like other people in their class. So although Kale looks down on Morgana, she still understands, right? They still love each other because they're sisters, right? Novas are not like this. Novas are completely standoffish. Okay? They hate each other. These are the estranged sisters that grew up with each other and would rather literally die than see the other one win one time. So like, this is like if one of the sisters is going to get married and the other sister goes, you, I'm going to get married first. So she goes out and finds like a street hooker and marries her or him or whoever, right? And does it like 2 days before her other sister's wedding as like a you. You know what I mean? That's Novas. Novas hate each other. So awakening Novas after this patch would rather reroll to a completely different class than swap to Succession. Because that shit is disgusting. Not even joking. Versus DKs who are like, okay, Awakening got nerfed. I guess we'll just play Succession for a while. You know what I mean? Like that's the... Holy... All right, Starfall. Change the skill as follows. Change the defensive effect of flight. Bro, this shit that you hear in this stream, I'm telling you, this is why this is cinema. I'm so glad I did this, not in the normal patch note rundown. Holy. Okay, Starfall. Change the skill as follows. Change the defensive effect to applied learning when core. Starfall from super armor to forward guard. Okay, change the debuff from floating to knockdown. Huge nerf. Huge nerf. A lot of people stack knockdown resist, but don't have floating resist. Float was better. Also, the float keeping them in the air allowed you to get like air attack and shit. Like your combo could be longer. Break orbit. Change the skill as follows. Change the stamina cost from 150 to 100. Huge buff. Never mind. The cooldown's now twice as long. Never mind. Cooked. Change the... Change the cooldown from 1 to 2 seconds. That's okay. I still think this is a buff. I'll be honest with you. I still think this is a buff. Technically. Change so you can now use the skill during cooldown. Added an iframe when using the skill in PvE only. Woohoo! That's a slight buff. Stars calls. Oh my god, bro. Change so you can combo the stab attack faster into the last motion. Okay, that's good. Change so you can now combo into other skills after the last motion. All right. Change the defensive effect from forward guard to super armor. Change the knockdown to be applied to PvP as well. Okay. Deleted the recover stars breath on block and changed the recover stars breath on hit amount from 3.5 to 5%. Okay. Change the cooldown from 10 to 8 seconds. Guys, why are you even complaining? Guys, I tell you, these Awakening Novas, some people never struggle. All they do is get buffed. Like, all the time. They're just buffed all the time. I'm rage baiting now. Honestly, I'm farming.
It's super armor for half the ability XD.
No shot. What, this one? Stars Call? Let's shift LMB? Yep. Super armor. Okay, yeah. Only during the important parts. Yeah, that's fine. And the important part. Okay, that's fine. All right, yeah, we're good. Okay, it's fine. Holy dude. I was like, okay, change forward guard to super armor. That's not that big of a deal. It's only for half the skill. What the disparage? Oof. Changed knockdown to apply in PvP as well. All right. Deleted the recover stars breath on blocks and changed to recover stars breath on hit amount from 3.5 to 5%. Changed the cooldown from 10 to 8 seconds. It's a buff. I think that overall this is still a buff because you're recovering your Excel mode a lot faster and the cooldown is lower. You're getting a knockdown on the skill. Overall, it is still a buff, but yeah, you're right. It takes a really long time and it's not super armored during the important part of the skill. So like that makes it a little rough. Meanwhile, Succession Nova. I bet an Awakening Nova could go through its entire skill kit, right? And you'd be unprotected 4, 5, maybe 6 times. You'd have gaps. It'd be like Swiss cheese. Succession Nova, in no particular order, could use every skill in her kit and be forward guarded super armor the entire time and not give a honestly now, guys, I'm just trying to farm the difference between the Suck and the Awakening Novas. Okay, I'm just trying to make the rift between those even bigger. I want the Awakening Novas to hate Succession even more because I'm farming both of them. Excel Stars Call. Added a super armor before the attack hits. All right. Black Spirit Stars Call. Change the defensive effect from forward guard to super armor. Oh. Okay, before the attack hits. Yeah, okay, so it's not when the attack is actually happening. Deleted the Recover Stars Breath on block and changed the Recover Stars Breath amount from 2.3 to 3.5. Okay, sure. On guard. Change the all AP increase effect for 30 seconds from 20 to 30. You're huge. Why are you guys even complaining? Why are you guys even complaining? You guys are getting more AP. More damage. Holy. They just like gutted the core of the class. Okay, so. Alright. Wait. Wait, you're getting more damage? You guys. Wait. What? Wait, you're getting a shitload more damage. Hold up. Are y'all gaslighting us? You're best PvE class in the game. You stuck up bitch. I'm with the Suck Novas on this one. You guys trying to gaslight us? Don't spread wrong info. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. But Stars Call, I'm just going to pick one of the skills at random. Stars Call, stab attack 4,982% times 2. Changing to 10,018 times 2. Looks like a pretty big buff. I'm going to be honest. Huh? That looks like a pretty big buff. And then the last attack is also getting the same treatment. And then the Excel Star Cult got a buff in PvP. The Black Spirit skills nobody cares about. It's like, okay, whatever. Let's just take another random skill. 6933 times 2 to 10,053 times 2. I am not a mathematician. But that looks like 60% more damage in PvE. Am I crazy? I'm Yeah, that's like 3k more percent. Just over 30%. Okay, so wait. 30%? Well, 30% of 7k would be a 2100% increase. So if you add that to 6933, it should equal this number here. Stop trying to gaslight me, you apes. Okay? It is more than 30%. Well more than 30%. 30%. I don't know, Blue, you're just bad at math. Don't look at the numbers. Don't look at the numbers. Still a nerf. Don't worry. Don't look at the numbers. It's a nerf. It's being nerfed. Shut the up, you idiots. It's about 45%. That is a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. Nova's trying to gaslight us in chat. It's like, oh, it's only 30% more damage. What the it is. Now, this is a nerf. This is a nerf. Excel Royal Fencing for the Shay. Definitely got nerfed. Wait, no. Wait, what? 9 hits. Never mind. What the? Never mind. This is a buff. This is a big buff. This is a massive buff. Wait, max 4 hits. I don't see the max 4 hits here anywhere, so I don't know by comment. This one, definitely just an objective buff. Y'all are gaslighting us. So you guys, so Awakening Nova got massive buffs in PvE. The trade-off is your class feels like shit. That's all you had to give up. That's all you had to, that's all you had to give up. All you had to do. What did it cost? Everything. Okay. So, be honest, like TBH, I actually think that Awakening Nova will perform even better in PvE now than she did before. She'll have slightly less AoE across the board, but that won't matter much because she can do the high level. If you're talking high level grind zones, you know what I mean? She should still have the AoE to do stuff. But the class is going to feel worse to play. But you'll get used to it over time. But because your AoE is nerfed and your cooldowns are nerfed and the way you have to flip your camera around is nerfed, and then your protections, in my opinion, overall kind of got nerfed. Right, your CCs kind of got nerfed a little bit too, right? I think overall it is a nerf for the class. Yeah, but I think in PvE you'll actually perform better. Assuming you can adjust to this new playstyle, I actually think in PvE you'll perform better. The trade-off is that I think that it's just not gonna feel as good. I think that people like how smooth it used to felt and stuff, you know, before. Fuck PvP, PvP is in the dumpster. But you can't say PvE, PvP's in the dumpster, because PvE is all you have. Okay? You take away fishing, we got nothing left. Why adjust when you can complain, though? I think that, I'll be honest, overall, I think Awakening Nova is going to be okay. I think that they're freaking out a little too much. Are these dramatic changes? Yes, they are. But I think that Awakening Novas will adjust. I think that there's going to be this knee-jerk reaction to go try to play Dark Knight or Maehwa or some other trash class, and then they're going to start playing that class and realize that the cocaine doesn't give the same payoff on the other classes as it does on Awakening Nova. Realize that all of the other classes in the game are dog shit and inferior because they're just not blonde. Roll straight back to the Awakening Nova and deal with it. That's what I feel like is about to happen. I straight up. And I think that they're going to do better in PvE. I think they are going to do better in PvE. It's going to take some adjustment, guys, but I don't think the Awakening Nova is dead. I think that it's going to feel different, no question. But I do think that this was overall kind of a healthy change in terms of like the reduce the attack area was healthy. The protection and the cooldowns and the CC changes, I think were like, okay, that's a little cooked, but like that's like we don't need to do that much. But I think removing the attack area, buffing her damage, buffing her damage in PvE is a crazy take. I think that the class would have been okay without this, but yeah, you could have been bitching that the class is dead. But like the fact that she's getting buffed in PvE, I think you guys are gonna be okay. Like straight up, I think that Awakening Novas are still gonna be playing PvE. They're still gonna play Awakening Nova, and their PvE is gonna be even better than it was before. I think it's an S tier grinder. This is what it's going to look like. It's just going to feel different. It's going to take some adjustments. Now for the massive Drakania changes. On to Woosa. Woosa is getting Awakening Perilous Waltz. Change the description of the all DP increase effect to accurately reflect the actual effect. All DP plus 20 for 5 seconds. Okay, so it's all DP. Now it's all DP plus 30 for 10 seconds. Okay, right on. Okay, but for real though, Drakania... Looks like Succession Drakania Prime Sundering Claw is now an 8-second cooldown instead of 12. And her damage is super buffed on Soaring Claw and Mark the Non's Fang. Okay. Better than Ninja? I think that Awakening Nova is stronger than Ninja in PvE. I think that if you're a really, really good Ninja, you can outperform every other class in the game. Doable. But I think on the average Awakening Nova will outperform the average Succession Ninja. But I think the top end, the top tippity top tier suck ninjas will outperform the tippity top tier Awakening Nova. That makes sense. But like on average, I do think that Awakening Nova is going to be performing better. Mainly because most players that play ninja are terrible. My strategy when I play against ninjas is to just linger super armors with with CC and wait for them to make a mistake because they're overconfident. It's kind of like Anakin and Count Dooku, where he's, I'm taking him now, Anakin, no! And they run in and then I cut off both his arms and his legs or whatever the right? They just cut off his legs and put it. That's all it is. It's the same shit. Okay, class changes. Okay, so these are just the bug fixes. These are just bug fixes on the class. Yeah, so obviously the highlight reel here is the Awakening Nova getting all of the changes, that's some radical changes. I think that Awakening Nova is going to be fine. I think it's going to take some adjustment, and then you're going to be better in PvE than you were before. I think that the Awakening Novas are freaking out way too much. I think the class is absolutely fine. Y'all will get over it. It'll be okay. And you'll end up being better in PvE. Suck Striker, I think, needed a buff, mainly because it's never going to be good as Awakening, because Awakening is god tier at literally everything in the game. Witch is objectively worse than her male counterpart in every single conceivable way. The woman is inferior to the man. I'm just saying, that's just the way that it goes. I think that the Witch and Wizard changes were more offensive to me than the Nova changes. Because Nova still got buffed in PvE, and so the Nova still got buffed in PvE, and she doesn't have a male counterpart to constantly dominate her. Even though some people would like to watch that. I think the Wizard, Suck Wizard, I think got the biggest buff in the patch. Straight up. Suck Wizard is literally, it went from being like a C to D tier PvE class to being S tier, and it got PvP buffs too because the passive got changed. It's gonna be giga. That class is gonna be absolutely crazy. I missed the Guardian changes. What Guardian? So did we. What are we doing? are you talking about? Stuck Valkyrie to start getting a much needed buff here. I think Maehwa getting some buffs is good. Overall, Tamer getting a little bit of attention. Definitely good in my opinion. Berserkers getting buffed is stupid. And I hate these bitchy, whiny little that constantly think their class is, oh my god, it's not good enough. You. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about awakened Berserkers. You guys are Giga Chads. You guys are alphas. Succession Berserkers are whiny bitches. Sorts, you guys are respectable whiny bitches, and you got your way again. I respect it. All Sorks have to do is threaten to kill themselves in Minecraft. Every time their class gets nerfed on the global labs, and the developers flip that shit right around, by the time it makes it to live servers, they get buffed. It's literally just that simple. Anyway, guys, remember to like the video. You literally watched this video on YouTube for like an hour and a half. Could you please like the video? It helps so much with the algorithm. I love y'all.